people, injured here, 1v1, Green Tooth Gorge, blue side. We've got Tex as a big stompy Hive Tyrant, very durable commander, walks through cover and cannot be suppressed. Very good offense, disruption and support. Begins with a basic synapse and starts off in melee combat. Up against on the red side is a Thousand Suns, Chaos Lord, durable and destructive commander, walks through cover and cannot be suppressed. Very good offense and disruption, fights mainly in melee combat. And yes guys, it is Green Tooth Gorge yet again. Everyone seems to play either this or Calderos Refinery in 1v1s on Elite Mod. They don't seem to like play any other maps at all, which is why about 80% of the 1v1 matches are on those two maps. Nothing I can do about it guys, sorry. Double Termagants for Tex, Toilailee with double Heretics and CSM in between, nothing out of the ordinary. Two big bruiser commanders that bash things over and smack you in the face. Quite an interesting opening, I think. Tyranids with that early advantage, I think, with the double crippling poison potential, which can really screw over Chaos Lord in early engagements, but he can make the decision to mitigate that with the Combi Flamer and peel off models and get XP that way. Though in tier 2, if you see Tyrant Guard and Gene Stealers and stuff, that Combi Flamer might become far less useful, though he can perhaps use it to shoot down a zone thrope even if Tex isn't paying attention. We'll see what happens. Crippling Poison already up with the Toxin Sacs on one of the Termagant Broods, and they're going to turn around and decap this VP. It's going to be a double cap here for Tex. He's going to take mid with Tyrant and decap this west side. Here comes the other Termagant Brood, Chaos Space Marines shooting them up. Gets behind the light cover of this fallen log, and here comes the Chaos Lord. He's going to break that thing. Single cap now, and there's the double. Happy to push this west side. Toilailee being aggressive with his Chaos Space Marines. He knows the Hive Tyrant is mid. He knows the Hormagaunts are mid. Hormagaunts can be a very good capping unit, I think, with their adrenal glands. They're reasonably decent on their own, and they are getting the adrenal glands. Much better, of course, within their basic synapse, which the Hive Tyrant will provide if he's close enough. I think he needs to be within 20 or something, or 32. 32, I think it's 32. He's getting Rending Talons because of the double Heretics. An awesome weapon, 75 DPS melee damage with the great Seismic Roar, which is knockback and a burst of damage and then damage over time on the ground, so it scales pretty well. Reliable disruption is always useful, but we see a Havoc squad on the field for Toilailee with that heavy bolter that instantly suppresses infantry. Does not suppress the Hive Tyrant, of course, so he does not get suppressed. So we might see extended carapace from him as well. At level 2 he can charge and then use Seismic Roar straight away, which is awesome. Double Toxin Sacs up. Cost of these were recently swapped with the cost of Hormagaunt Adrenal Gland, which has been cancelled. So now it's 75.15 to get these Toxin Sacs up, which I think is more than fair. It's an awesome upgrade for these guys, much like the Dire Avenger aspect. Gives them a lot of buffs, health buff, damage buff, and the awesome Crippling Poison. Forced off there by Immolate, so we have seen the Combi Flamer up for Toilailee's Chaos Lord. Great ranged weapon, over 30 DPS I think, or around 30 piercing damage on the run, and has that underslung flamer for that Immolate you just saw. Is it going to be enough though? Does Tex care if you peel off his gaunts and gants? Here comes the Hive Tyrant. He does have the extended carapaces, and there's the charge, trying to catch those Havocs, but they are under that awesome Corn Worship, giving +2 speed. Heretics not bothering to Doom Blast to try and stop him because he can't suppress this guy, and he's going after those Havocs who take the garrison. He could use his Seismic Roar to damage them while they're inside the building, but turns away very quickly knowing they're going in there. Catches Chaos Space Marines in retreats. A nice Seismic Roar and almost wipes the squad. If he got one more hit there, he would have taken them down. Reasonably unlucky. It's really good in retreat, the Seismic Roar, because much like the War Boss's Stomp, it screws with pathing and allows you to get a few more hits in, especially if you have a melee squad alongside you to help you get those hits. Heretics forced off by those Hormagaunts who do have their adrenal glands. You can tell because of that plus icon above their indicator there, denoting a generic upgrade. See the kind of damage this guy does with the combi flamer. There he goes. Look at the health draining away from the Hive Tyrant because of that combi flamer. It's a 2-to-1 cap for Tex. Who needs a 4th unit when you're the Hive Tyrant? You can do so much with this guy. Disrupt, charge down, set up teams, tank damage like crazy, or all of the above if you want to invest in him that much. Hormogaunts are going to get caught here by aspiring champion Heretics, and that's not a good fight for them isolated like that. Havoc's getting caught here by the Hive Tyrant, takes a model off them. He's in trouble here though. That's a special attack. That's a very good special attack. The Hive Tyrant takes another model. Because Space Marines need to force melee combat on him. There we go. And he's going to go down here, I think. 482, 363, going to get chased down. Heretics unable to get into retreat path because of that Cryptwin Poison, but he goes down anyway. Almost a nice save by Tex. Goes tier 2 very quickly here. Look at the amount of pressure he was able to put on there with just the Hive Tyrant. Really is a powerful commander early on. Chaos Lord, of course, can do that himself, but he was pegged back there by the Hive Tyrant. The Heretics, much less useful. You really hurt their usefulness when you get that Rending Talons. They can't suppress the big guy, and if you get Rending Talons, they don't really want to engage him either. 482, 350, double generators here from Tex. He's really going heavy with the generators. Has 5 of them up before he even gets to tier 2. A quick Tyrant Guard could be quite painful here for Toilailee. Usual response is Marco Zeke CSM with perhaps a las cannon on an auto cannon. 473, 350. Chaos Lord just hanging out behind this garrison so that Toilailee has line of sight to what's coming. Trying to take down these generators. Here comes that Hive Tyrant repurchased by Tex, and he's into tier 2. Oh, charges over the Chaos Lord when he was trying to use Immolate. Almost takes him down. If he didn't do that special attack, he might have got him. Special attacks won't hit moving targets. As a general rule, there are some specials that will track a target, much like the Force Commander's Thunderhammer special. And Warrior Brood being dropped in, and that will actually damage. It does actually damage on a drop. I think it does 50 damage even. Not bad. Forcing off the Havocs, and that's a bad engagement for Toilailee. Heretics caught in retreat by that Warrior Brood. These guys doing 18 DPS. Power melee Heretics wiped? Yes, they are. Really good retreat path catching by both players here. Now those Heretics just about getting away. The Tormagot's leveled to 2, yes. Warrior Brood is going straight to tier 3 Tex, seriously. Blood Crusher on the way for Toilailee. It might be a mistake from Tex. No sign of any upgrades for this Warrior Brood. I thought it was going to get adrenal glands for the melee synapse for these Hormogaunts, but he's not. He doesn't have the power now. He's gone tier 3. Oh, he does. 25 power to get adrenal glands, and there it is. Gives these guys heavy melee damage and gives them the awesomely powerful melee synapse for non-synapse melee creatures, much like these Hormogaunts. You might see them get the Ender Swarm to really capitalize on that melee synapse. What are they doing now? Going to go decap or bash this maybe. 425, 328. Toilailee burning down Termagants on the west side. Has grenade launcher Heretics, as I'm sure you've seen. And here is the Blood Crusher, a demon with vehicle armor. Might work quite well for him here because Tex has gone into tier 3 and he has double Heretics to... No, he doesn't. He has a single Heretic squad to support this guy now. Will benefit greatly from Khorne Worship. Gets all the nice demon buffs, which are health and energy regeneration from the worship, and also will get that +2 speed, making it pretty damn fast. It's pretty quick anyway for a vehicle, especially going after that Warrior Brood, who do have that heavy melee damage now. Can we see the DPS it gives? 23 heavy melee DPS per model, which is not bad at all. If you get all of the models attacking the vehicle, which is perhaps not easy if the vehicles move it. That's why it's so good to have your heavy melee damage on a single entity, much like the Hive Tyrant can with his Crushing Claw. 425, 264, 2-to-1 cap for Tex. Hive Tyrant playing it close here, but does get away. He's going to be shot by the heavy bolter as he retreats. Is that going to be enough to take him down? I don't think it is. No. So he's into tier 3. And he's not too far away. He's about a minute away from getting a Carnifex. Bloodletter's on the way for Toilailee. He must suspect that Tex is up to something, because he's not seen anything out in tier 2 apart from that warrior brood drop. Here's a very strangely placed brood nest. Suppose he has it there so his Termagants can back off this west side and reinforce. But the Blood Crusher will take it down. Let's see how much XP it gives him. Not bad. Gives you 15 red, I think it is as well. 425, 243. Chaos Space Marines with Eternal War and their aspiring champion. It might see Marco Zinch will help him shoot down and get those synapse bombs off this warrior brood, which are heavy infantry. Also not bad against commanders as well, Marco Zinch. Here are the Bloodletters teleporting somewhere. There we go. Trying to get those Hormagaunts, but the Hormagaunts had run away. These guys are demon infantry with those power melee Hellblades. A pretty awesome melee unit, to be honest. Really, really good in 1v1 fights because they can phase out and just back away from an engagement they don't like. With worship support as well, it's actually pretty damn difficult to take down a well-managed Bloodletter squad because of that phase out or warp shift. Or what is it called? Warp shift, I think it's called. Power harass from Termagants. Can they take this generator down? He's being quite defensive with these Havocs here, Toilailee. Expecting them to join this push against Tex's power. Carnifex is on the field pretty much, and what is Toilailee going to do against that thing? A las cannon, obvious choice, but if it's a Thornback, he's just going to get charged down. Maybe he can put it in a garrison or something somewhere. Toilailee is going to decap the VP. 392, 239. Here is the Carnifex, and he's going for Thornback. That's going to give it 1875 hit points. Allow it to charge and spawn Rippers. Don't ask me where the Rippers come from. You probably don't want to know. 392, 235. Plague Marines on the way for Toilailee. So he might not do too badly with the las cannon snare and the snare from the Plague Marines missile launcher. Mobility might be an issue for this Carnifex. Thornback is up. No sign of the Rippers yet. 390, 235. Where is that Hive Tyrant? He's coming back out of base now. Termagant's forced off. He's just trying to keep all of this stuff at bay with this Carnifex, which does have vehicle armor. It can slowly regenerate its own health though, since it's a big monstrous creature, not a machine. Going after those Bloodletters, I think. Does big splash damage with each shot, and we do have a las cannon up on the Havocs, and the Plague Marines are on the field. Boom, there's one las cannon shot snaring the target, and there's the Plague Marine missile as well. Rippers though are tying up that las cannon. What's the Hive Tyrant up to? He's fighting a Blood Crusher. Plague Marines continue to get shots in. Here's some more Rippers. How did he get more Rippers so quickly? Oh, he must have come out of here, out of this tower. Well, one of them did. He's keeping this Carnifex in this fight. Charges down the las cannon, but not before it got a shot. Level 2 las cannon now, and Rippers continue to tie up those Plague Marines. Needs to turn and just finish them off. Very difficult to hit those Rippers because they are a tiny target, so ranged weapons can really struggle to hit them. Las cannon just about gets away with a single model. Plague Marines continuing to get shots. Here comes the Warrior Brood. Carnifex might... Oh, he can't charge out, he just used his charge. Warrior Brood here to tie up the Plague Marines. He needs to turn these Inferno Bolters onto those warriors. Capillary Tower is up, but it does not affect the Carnifex anymore in terms of its speed buff anyway. And that was a pretty nice save from Tex. Came in and kind of extracted his Carnifex. Even gets his Rippers out, which came out of this tower, I believe. Termagants get away. Was that Harmony Inferno? Yes. And we do have Demonic Visage as well. All enemies. So does that affect the Carnifex as well? It's going to be pretty awesome if it does. They take down that tower, which gives a bunch of XP. Levels the Chaos Lord to 4. Now a Chaos Dreadnought on the way for Toilailee could get Marco Zinch and really put pressure on that Carnifex and any other monstrous creature Tex decides to get. And why not? He has Marco Zinch CSM to shoot the crap out of the warriors. The Termagants and Hormagaunts will be dealt with by the Chaos Lord quite nicely, so I don't think it's bad to get another AV source. We'll see if he does though. He starts off with that auto cannon which will damage a Carnifex. Small area of effect on it as well, so you could turn it on the warriors and do a pretty good job. 362, 170, and he is going for Marco Zinch, gives it that missile launcher which is an awesome AV option. Long range anti-vehicle damage on a walker is always very nice option to have. Down goes that tower. Chaos Space Marines getting out of the garrison, and they're going to decap this fully matured wreck point. How annoying. 362, 170, 1-to-1 cap. And yeah, it's often beneficial just to stay in tier 2 as Chaos. Some really good tier 2 options, and your pop is often very high, so you don't want to get to tier 3 and not be able to purchase anything. Having said that, yeah, he's at 89 pop as you see there, so he couldn't get a tank or anything juicy if he got to tier 3. 349, 170. Tex on the other hand with just 68 pop because he has these little gaunts and gants making up still a large chunk of his army. Blood Crusher might go down here though. 342, 170 is happy to camp mid for the moment, and now Tex has seen the Marco Zinch Dreadnought. He's trying to take down this Blood Crusher though. A single hit point lives and now is under Corn Worship. You see the health regen, and this Blood Crusher, this Carnifex, I'm sorry, is in trouble. Hive Tyrant charging in, has the Crushing Claw now, could go and finish off that Blood Crusher. 108 DPS heavy melee, forces off the las cannon very quickly. Carnifex does get away, and he's not turning around to deal with the Blood Crusher. Blood Crusher's happy to go after him in fact. 334, 166. Look at the damage the Hive Tyrant does, that is awesome. Almost level 4. There's a lot of stuff here though, and he's being path blocked by the Blood Letters. I don't think he's going to be able to finish this thing off. Yeah, he needs to retreat out. 334, 158, and was unable to decap mid. Well, he did decap the west side, Chaos Lord taking it back. And Termagants did get away. Loads of bodies here though. 334, 158. Some more Corn Worship, sir. No, he's getting a shrine. This thing will spit out Blood Letters and give him a 10% damage buff on his units, and he can stack that up with multiple shrines. You can get a maximum of 3 shrines per player, and they only affect you, the buff anyway only affects you. 325, 158. He's going to bash power with his Chaos Dreadnought. He is. Gene Stealer's on the way for Tex, going for Rending Talons quickly perhaps to go toe to toe and rip this Dreadnought apart. Gene Stealer's on the field, start off as a melee unit, but they can get Rending Claws and get heavy melee damage under that melee synapse, as you see there from the warriors. They are a force to be reckoned with. Huge amounts of melee skill they get. Right, so they get from this plus 10, so they're up to 90 melee skill under melee synapse. I believe they start with 80, and now they have those Rending Claws. That was killed a week. There is Let the Galaxy Burn, nicely done. Look at the damage it did to those Gene Stealers. Didn't quite take a model off them though. 295, 158. What is this though? Hive Tyrant levels to 4, chasing down this Chaos Dreadnought. This needs to tie it up with something. Don't think he should be chasing it with both of those things. There we go. Carnifex turns to engage the Chaos Space Marines, gets a massive special attack there. Took like half of their health bar off. That's kind of not shooting at the Carnifex there. Maybe it wasn't facing it properly. Ouch, sink kill from the Hive Tyrant. Chaos Dreadnought turns to engage with that missile launcher. Needs to be tied up by the Hive Tyrant. There we go. 273, 158. Plague Marines continue to get shots on. Now it's a Blood Crusher versus a Carnifex. Not the best fighter for the Blood Crusher, but he does have Plague Marine support there. Blood Crusher goes down. Is this Carnifex going to try and charge away? He's charging into the Plague Marines, but the Chaos Dreadnought's coming in. And the Hive Tyrant doesn't have the health to turn around and try and tie him up, I don't think. Has the bonded exoskeleton now. There is the invulnerability. 273158. Bloodletters spawned by the Blood Sacrifice Global. And chasing that Carnifex off. Down goes the Hive Tyrant, just staying in that engagement a bit too long. WTF says Tex. Maybe he tried to retreat him out. Warriors capping the west side though. 273150. Gene Stealer's not used to chase down the Chaos Dreadnought, which is what I was expecting. They are patrolling this west side and laying in ambush. As you can see there, these guys infiltrate if they're left idle for 8 seconds or so, I believe it is. Double cap for Tex. But it's going to be a 2-to-1 for Toilailee, I think. Havoc's on the way for Toilailee, another squad of them. Plague Marines down to 3 models, but they're not too bothered about that. They still have their missile launcher. Gene Stealer is using Adrenal Rush, but that's just too much stuff for them to deal with. Losing a model on retreat to the Chaos Dreadnought's melee attack. This guy getting close to level 2. Bloodletters coming out of the shrine in retreat path. Good place for the shrine. Termagant's trying to deal with it. You see the yellow buff circles, the damage buff from the shrine, even affecting this Chaos Dreadnought here. And 10% damage buff does stack up, especially when it's just constant in the area like this. 260, 125. Is it worth him getting another shrine there? I think it might be. Oh, he's pop capped, he can't get anything else. Here's the second Havoc squad. Looks like he's happy to keep these guys as their heavy bolter suppression state. Havoc's with the las cannon down to a single model there. That's risky. 245, 125. Has an extra Heretic squad as well. Chaos Space Marines up to level 3, 240, 125. Does Tex have what it takes to push this? Look at this in the middle. Looks like he's trying to avoid it for the time being, but here come Gene Stealers. Looks like they are going to enter the fray in the mid. I thought they were going to go west side and just try and cap. 231, 125. There's the Thornback charge. What is he going to tie up though? He goes for the Plague Marines. There's a Tyraniid formation. The global nuke for Tyranids. Lots of disruption and damage, actually hitting his own Gene Stealers there. They also give a synapse buff and a momentary massive speed buff as they come out of the ground, I believe. 215, 125. Carnifex doing well. Level 3 Carnifex, over 2,000 hit points, not easy to deal with at all. Tying up that Chaos Dreadnought, and that's a good push from Tex. Another good let the Galaxy burn on those Gene Stealers. They really don't like that, do they? Oh, they lose another model as they retreat. But they do get away. 199, 125. It's close. Another Carnifex on the way for Tex. Are we going to see 2 las cannons from Toilailee in response? We might, because another Carnifex is going to be a pain in the ass, especially if he gets a Barb Strangler on it. Those Heretics are not going to like that at all. All of that worship support gone, maybe. We'll see. I think any of the upgrades are almost always pretty viable for a Carnifex. It really does have good weapon options. Down goes that las cannon. That's bad for Toilailee. The Hive Tyrant does get away. And he's going for another Thornback. He's going to have that double Thornback charge right up in Toilailee's face. And that's going to be really difficult to deal with since he lost that las cannon. That's one of his snare sources gone. There's one charge. And here's the other charge. Boom. Wow. Crazy, crazy action here. Is he going to tie that Dreadnought up or what? Looks like he's happy just to attack everything else here. Chaos Lord trying to cap mid under Termagant fire though. They're doing a lot of damage to him as well. He has used Bloodlust, as you see here. This red buff sign on all of Toilailee's stuff. Bloodlust means that every time he attacks, he gets a damage buff. He gets a 2% damage buff for each melee attack and a 1% damage buff for each ranged attack, and that lasts 25 seconds. So if you have a large army, you can build up a huge damage buff. As you saw there, one of the Carnifex is going down. And it was the leveled up one. This one is already level 2 though, that's mad. He might lose it here. I think he is going to. I think he should have tied up that Chaos Dreadnought immediately, I think. And where were his Gene Stealers? Oh, they were capping over here. Carnifex trying to charge away. Last few missiles, might have finished it off. No, I think it is going to get out of there. He did have the charge off cooldown, so he does get away. Now the Hive Tyrant trying to cap mid. 195.61, trying to give himself a triple cap at the end of the game here. Look how much resources Toilailee has. He couldn't spend any of them because he was pop capped, and now he's not. Does he risk going tier 3 at this late stage? What do you get right now? Bloodletters are gone. Hive Tyrant trying to go after the Chaos Dreadnought. It seems like Toilailee is resigned to defeat. He could not push back on the west side against Gene Stealers with his CSM. 195.16, double cap for Tex at the end of the game to see him out. Really awesome last engagement with a double Carnifex charge, which just bought him enough time to see this game out. Down goes the Hive Town at the end. There's 2-1, and there is the game. The Galaxy burn right at the end there, and Tex takes it with that tier 3 rush into Carnifexes. All thanks to this Hive Town just holding up so much stuff, allowed him to tech relatively easily, and Toilailee stuck in tier 2 because of the big population outlay you had with Plague Marines and Bloodletters and Havocs and stuff, and this Dreadnought, which did really well for him. Almost got to level 3. Chaos Lord himself level 6. I think, well, it's hard to say if the Combi Flamer was worth it in the long run. I'm inclined to say it wasn't. I know it's really great in tier 1 versus Tyranids, but that usefulness really drops off as Tyranid goes up the tiers, as you'd expect, I suppose. If you had Lightning Claws, you might have been able to be much more aggressive going after this Warrior Brood. It's a big expense though, 200 rec, 50 power to get Lightning Claws on your Chaos Lord, so it's hard to say. Double Bloodletters maybe. Carnifex just came really quickly. Did have Plague Marines, he had a lot of AV. Tex just used the Carnifex incredibly well to get to level 3, kept getting out of danger and pushed at the right times. But there you have it, guy. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.